What's up, guys? Brando the Weed Commando here in the flesh. Anyway, I'm in the garden. I'm thinking to myself, I haven't made a video in a while. Wonder what's going on out there in the weed world today. You know, I remember a couple years ago we had a presidential election, and all these people kept telling me I had to vote for Joe Biden because he was gonna decriminalize marijuana. They showed me this video of him talking about how he was going to do automatic expungements for people that had, you know, prior convictions of whatever would have been legalized if he decriminalized or whatever. And now here we are, and the numbers are coming in, and it turns out the arrests, the federal marijuana arrests have gone up 25% since Biden took over. And there's nowhere in sight where there's any legislation that looks like it has anybody talking about it. You know, there's the bills that they've been talking about for a while, and they're still there, but it's not something they're doing right now. There's a lot of legalization efforts going on all over the country, and a lot of that is just more of the same corporate takeover that I've been on this channel preaching against for the last, I don't know, 5 years or however long I've been doing this channel. Although, you know, even in my state, Michigan, when they did this corporate takeover, I was pretty much for the bill. I had to be. It was taking the thing that I've been doing my whole life and making it no longer a felony. So there's no way I was going to be against that. And it wasn't really a corporate takeover until they decided that they were going to allow the stacking of licenses. So that's when it became a big deal to be against it. But it was too late, because that was already worked into it before it got printed up. So that's, you know, that's still the thing that's happening with the legalization. There's none of this legalization is anything but the corporate takeover slowly reaching its fingers into places where it hadn't been, you know, allowed to happen before or whatever. Sorry about the camera and the shakiness and the environment that we're in here in my backyard, but it's just all I got right now to work with. I haven't done videos in so long, I don't have my computer really set up for it. I don't even know where my microphone and cameras are or any of that crap, but I'm just coming in off the cup, looking a little rough, talking about how, you know, it's very compelling for me to start making videos again. But the thing is the topic's not going to be just centered around weed anymore, because there's a lot of more important things to talk about right now. As this corporate takeover of marijuana is just a small part of a larger corporate takeover and a larger thing happening globally, not just here in Michigan or my little town, or, you know, it's everywhere. There's a lot to talk about, and you know, one of the big topics that I probably will start out with is censorship, because if you do want to talk about any of the topics that I do want to cover, you have to walk a very you have to tread on a tightrope over here on YouTube. So I guess I'll be doing that, and I'll be talking about why or how I'm going to do that later on down the line. But, you know, the censorship that started, it's been going on for longer than when I'm going to say it started, with when they decided to censor Alex Jones off the internet. Well, you know, they had the excuse that we have to do this because he's doing this dangerous propaganda and it's hurting people. You know, people are getting harassed because of it in real life on the ground. And you know, the only way to stop it is to take them off the internet. Well, then it became COVID. Well, I made a couple of videos talking about cannabis and COVID and how it could help treat COVID. And I had to be very careful when I made that as to what I did or didn't claim, or what I did or didn't criticize about the official narrative and the, their what to do about COVID. So then they started censoring people there. We're talking about reputable scientists and doctors were being taken off the internet. And because, if they weren't going along with the COVID narrative, then they were looked at it, they were deemed dangerous, and they were getting people killed with their rhetoric. And now people are just getting censored left and right, taken off the internet, just for being a bad person or whatever, I guess. With this Andrew Tate situation, I don't really know a whole lot about it, but I haven't really seen the smoking gun as to why he should be taken off the internet. Just a whole bunch of people saying what a misogynist he is or whatever. And this is, maybe I should look more into that. I don't know. But I just see censorship is getting to be the point where most people accept it as necessary, which is completely, I don't know, it's against the values that this country was founded on. And it basically, if I respect any piece of paper with words on it, the Constitution would probably be the only one that the government has ever produced that I kind of respect, but it's still a little bit like, what are you talking about? Why you got to put this shit in writing? Like this is kind of a no-brainer that we should be able to do this, and that, and have this kind of freedom here and that. And, and when it comes to freedom of speech, it's just a universal thing that if we don't have that, we really don't have anything, because you're not going to know what's going on. Besides that, there will probably be a few changes around here. I don't know. I got to be a little careful on YouTube, so I'm considering that if I do actually do some videos or keep doing videos, I might branch out to other platforms where I don't have to worry about getting, well, first of all, demonetized is not a thing for me on YouTube. I've never been monetized. Out of all the hundreds of videos I made, I probably only made about 100 or 200 bucks from AdSense, and most of my videos immediately get demonetized, or later down the line, limited monetization, to the point where it doesn't even matter because so few people watch my videos. It's not like I would make them money even if they were paying me the full amount every video. 200, 300 views isn't going to make a very good income. So there's a few things there where, I'm probably going to change the name of the channel. I'm not going to talk about weed as much. If, you're going to catch a weed video only when some real important shit happens. Like, let's talk about this Brittany Griner situation. We are sitting here watching NBA, I think it was the NBA, sending a delegation. We got Dennis Rodman, our #1 diplomat. He's about to go over there and try to negotiate something. We got the government talking about trading, alleged terrorists for this athlete that got caught with some weed vape stuff, a small amount too, and was handed down a 9-year sentence in Russia, which, has been used by the Democratic establishment, the mainstream media, and anybody else that wants to get some kind of jabs on Putin, as if Putin himself was the judge, jury, and sentencer of this person, or his policies. How about that? Oh, Putin's policies are just so horrible that he's a dictator because of this, person getting a sentence. And it's like, there's people in your state, no matter what state you live in America right now, even the ones that have full legalization, where there's people in jail for weed. And there's places in America where there's people doing more harsh time than she's going to be doing. Like, we're talking about life sentences. We're talking about a guy that's got 16 years for selling an ounce to a Fed. We got another guy that was just denied clemency with a life sentence in Mississippi, I think it was. We got another one where a guy, 2 ounces of weed, and they're trying to give him 20 years. We got Texas, where they have the highest rate of incarceration for marijuana in the world. Alabama, basically, some of the most ridiculous sentencing guidelines in the world in Alabama, Mississippi, Missouri. Well, Missouri, even after legalization, still has ways you can get felonies. It's not legalization anyway. It's like medical marijuana and some decriminalization. But basically, even if you have a medical marijuana card, you can still get a felony for having too much weed. So, this whole virtue signaling shit about, oh, this is so horrible what's going on. Yeah, it is, totally. And I'm not trying to be a whataboutist. I'm trying to say what we're doing over here is, on a systemic level, on a regular basis, worse. And if you look at the statistics, when it comes to arresting people for weed and sentences that people get when they get arrested for weed, Russia is way ahead of us on that one. Like, they're not as harsh as we are. America's the harshest country there is on all things. We have fewer people living here than China, but we put more people in prison than China. What, we got this guy on a shirt here, Julian Assange. He's in jail. He's about to get extradited to America for the simple crime of reporting the news. The stuff he publishes, Washington Post and New York Times also published, but they're not sitting in a Belmarsh maximum security prison waiting to get extradited to who knows what the hell they're going to do to you here. So bad that the judge over there, there's too much to talk about on that front. But anyway, I'm going to try to make videos. I don't care if you guys come back or not. But that's what it is. I'm going to try to keep this short. There's a lot to talk about. And not all of it is about weed. But there is some stuff going on with that. And every time I see some new headline in Michigan, it's just more of the same. The end is near. The corporate takeover is crushing us, and they've all out waged war on the caregiver system and caregivers. And it's just, it's sad to watch. It's sad to be a part of. People that, like me, grew during full prohibition all throughout it. In some of the harshest times that we live in, with some of the most dictatorial presidents that were president at the time, like George H.W. Bush. How about when Bill Clinton was president? As a matter of fact, when George Bush, the other one, was president, and then again when Obama was president. And by the way, when Obama was president in 2011, well, that was the last time that this many arrests for marijuana on the federal level were a thing. Like, we managed to not get, not have these crazy record-breaking numbers every year since 2011. And they weren't on such a decline that there was a year where you could point to and be like, oh, look, that was an exceptional year for arrests. Because every year a new state legalized marijuana, and every year the numbers just basically barely moved on arrests. And I think it was 2017 where it was the lowest number, and that number compared to the peak number in 2000, I believe, it was 2003. There was a peak number for federal marijuana arrests. I might be wrong on these years and shit. It's been a while since I've had my nose in the numbers and looking at all the articles every day. But I do vaguely remember that it was only about a 15% decrease over the all-time high numbers of arrests. So we've never really slowed down that much on these arrests on the federal level. But there's definitely patterns that emerge when you look at what's going on in the legalization world. And it's not what you think. It's not, oh, there was less arrests this year. No, it's usually there were more. And a lot of times what it is it's people that are in states where it's legal delivering marijuana to states where it's illegal, and they're getting busted on the interim, or when they get to the other place. So that's basically where the numbers are coming from. All right, I'm gonna cut this off. Just keep it short and simple. Let you know I'm just bored and feel very compelled to make videos about certain things that are happening around us that we should all be more aware of. So maybe I can encourage other people to do the same. I don't know. I know I can only reach so many people, and probably most people on this channel will be interested in some of the topics that I cover. And for better or worse, I'll still be talking about weed. All right, Brando, the Weed Commando, signing out once again. Have a good one.